So I am so glad to be sharing with you today about the Gratitude Journaling Workbook. And it comes with the Gratitude Bible Reading Plan. You can get this free through my blog. The Gratitude Journaling Workbook is an upgrade. And actually, I just completely redid it and made it better. And I am just really happy with that, and I wanted to share it with you. And so these verses are the verses that I will be journaling about in my quiet time every day during November, which is the month we're in now, but you actually can do them any time of the year you want, because gratitude is certainly something we could use a whole lot more. If you are not feeling it, you don't feel like you're having gratitude, you're not happy, you're not thankful, and you're just in that state of mind, I've got you. I've been there, and it's through doing stuff like this that every day it has helped me to up-level that, so that my heart ends up feeling grateful, and you end up having joy in the Lord that you didn't know where it came from, because it's kind of often, for most of us, happens over a course of time. So what I do for each day, if you can see that, I do one of the verses. The Gratitude Journaling Workbook and this is a journaling page I do every day, and that's what I do. You might write less, and there's some days I write less. There's some days I kind of underline or type in bold or print in bold and do things like doodling on the bottom, and that becomes my journaling for the day. And I cannot tell you how much that I've gotten closer to the Lord through doing these journaling pages. I've been doing this, is called the SOAP method, and it's the first part. I'll show you on a page that doesn't have all my writing on it. The first part, I'm looking at the wrong side, is the journaling, scripture journaling. And in that, I take the verse of the day and I write it out. And normally I read the whole passage surrounding it, if not the whole chapter. That would be applicable. And then I write my observation of what's happening in those verses or passage and apply it to myself, application journaling, and then a prayer journal where I write out a prayer to God. And that's what I do, and it kind of turns out like this, sort of. And I just can't tell you how much it helps me to draw closer to Jesus, because for one thing, there's a structure. And so that structure helps me every day to know how I'm going to study the Bible, because I think before that, I really, 12, 14 years ago, I read the Bible and I had my quiet time, but I didn't know how to study. And I often read through the Bible, maybe even in a whole year a few times, but I didn't know how to really hone in on one or two verses. And I read more than one or two verses, but this also helps if you're in a season where you don't have a lot of time to go reading 3 or 4 chapters in a day. And what I also found when I was reading through the Bible in a year, which I can't tell you, it's very beneficial. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but sometimes as a busy mom, because my kids were younger, or even now my grandkids are over a lot, what happens is that you kind of rush to get it done, which kind of plays havoc on a person like myself, and I can't read fast. And then I always want to be writing out a verse. And so, because that's just how it works for me. And so in doing that, it can take me 1 or 2 hours to read those, or longer, I don't know. But it just takes me a really long time. So I interact better by writing out what I'm studying. And then I will get into in a minute. I like to journal, and I'll share about that in a minute. But I first want to talk to you about the journaling workbook. I do different journaling workbooks, and they are very dear to my heart. I do them for myself. And if you would like to get one, that is just more, it's just better. And so This one is in pretty fall colors, but that's the title page. And I have some different pages. One explains in depth what the soap method is all about. It's been around a long time. A lot of people use it, and I won't go into that. But that is all included in several pages. And then I have several pages where I break down the different weeks, 4 weeks. And I'm probably mixing it all up now. So, and then at the end, you also have, and I have those interspersed between like a week's worth of the journaling workbook. We're journaling pages. Gotta call these things the right names. And then I have the different gratitude journals. And so, as I was saying, I have a gratitude page, which is very important. You can copy as many as you need. And then I have prayer request pages, which helps you pray. I like to have it written down because then it keeps in mind. And then church notes and so forth. I'm not going through all of what I have in here because you just have to get it. And so that's what's involved in the journaling workbook. That's the Gratitude Journaling Workbook. I have many others on my blog. And then what I do is that I don't include pages or space in the journaling workbook for you to journal or draw. Okay, you do the journaling part where you're writing. And if you were like me and you like to draw or write out the verse in a more decorative way, I'm going to show you some of the examples of the ones I've been doing lately and how I've been doing that because we're in the month of Thanksgiving. Okay, so here we go. There's one, and I'm just using a notebook like this because I like to do it in my Bible, but what happens is that I've kind of run out of space in my Bible, so that I went to a notebook like this and did some journaling on them. Another one, but I just had to find because I don't have that many pages left in this. So I went to Hobby Lobby. And you can also check out Amazon, but I wanted to actually feel the different books they had, and I wanted to get a book that would open up flat like this does. You see, it has a spiral binder. It was $10 or less. Some of the sizes were $7. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but the thing that's neat is, I don't think you can see it on here, but the pages are thick. So that what it said, I don't know if I have the part. No, I doubt it. But on the plastic that was on this book, what it said that it was good for pencil crayons, coloring, for drawing or like sketching. So that would be with pencil. But it was also good for watercolors because I like to watercolor. And many books like this have lines on it. This one has the dots for bullet journaling. Several of the ones that I have been using on and off have lines, so you can also write, but they didn't have a space, it was blank. And this was perfect because it was blank. So they have it in different sizes, but why I like this is because it gives me the whole space to do my journal. Because as you can tell, I like to write out the verse. That's why it's good, because there are no lines. If you like the lines to guide you, that's a good idea. And it gives me more room than in a Bible. It's usually a narrow section. And so that works for when I don't have a Bible. So I hope this helps, and I hope you'll watch my other videos and like this video and subscribe. So thanks for joining me.